Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Defection. Defection is brought to you by Thunderbolts Ltd. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and games range anywhere from 90 to 150 minutes. The Valgars have returned to Calorissa, fueled by their hatred of the Khazarian and desire to once again rule over the planet. Their return has triggered an all-out war between the 4 inhabiting factions. No end to this war can be seen. Its bloody nature ravages civilian life. These innocent people are caught in the crossfire of vengeful violence. But amidst the chaos and carnage, there are some who will risk it all to save the lives of the innocent. These heroes have defected from the faction's armies to evacuate as many civilians as possible before Calorissa meets its inevitable end. Defection is a pick up and deliver game where players take the role of ship captains who have defected from the war in order to save civilians. You will need to ferry civilians around the system, deliver cargo, complete contracts, and survive dangerous encounters in order to be victorious. And you will also need to earn credits and customize your ship with crew and upgrades to aid you in your mission. Throughout the game, players will earn legend or victory points by completing contracts and defeating enemy ships, and again by ferrying civilians throughout the system. The player with the most legend after 8 years will win the game. So this is a pick up and deliver game with ship customization, space exploration, dice combat, and ultimately your goal is to gain legend. Alright, so there's a ton of setup in this game. This is a really big game. But we're going to just kind of hit the highlights here. One of the big things is you're going to assemble the galaxy or star system. And you start with Calorissa in the middle and the cube that goes above it. Around it, you're going to place various hexes that are white and red along with planets. All the planets are going to get bonuses. Interesting thing about these hexes when you explore them. You will be potentially swapping them out throughout the game, so the sectors and areas of the galaxy will change. And it's important to note that the white hexes are less dangerous than the red hexes, obviously, but the red hexes will give you even bigger bonuses. There's also a moon that's going to be rotating around Calorissa before its destruction. So you will be gaining all kinds of resources in this game. You'll be trying to battle it out and ultimately explore this galaxy. Now, there's also contracts in this game that you're trying to fulfill at different times, and the cube will get 3 of those right away. Now, there's the news terminal. Okay, so this is where you're going to be scoring and keeping track of your legend. You're putting color cubes related to your character or your ship in the starting position, which everyone is going to be starting at 5 legend. Now, the round tracker goes up to those 8 years, but after you get through these first 6, then it flips over and things get pretty hectic. Calorissa is destroyed, you flip that tile over, things like that are going to happen as the game comes to a close. It is war after all, and the factions are not working together well. So you, as that valiant ship captain, are trying to shuttle as many of your civilians to other worlds. So that's the main tracker here. There's also cargo. There's a limited amount of cargo that you place out on this board based on the player count. Here we're set up for a 2-player game. And then finally, on this board, we have the news cards. You start with the red card and then shuffle the green cards below it. The red card comes out. This is really the narrative of the game. And you'll have 2 of these in play at any one time. They'll be shifting down as you move through the rounds. Now, these are going to have benefits and different things that you're going to have to pay attention to as you go through those rounds, but they will affect the gameplay and again, add that narrative. And then you'll set up the marketplace. You have 3 different types of ships you can upgrade to, and you have various crew that you can upgrade on your player board. And then there's a various set of tokens to give you upgrades of your ship as you move through the game. These are going to do things like give you extra cargo or extra attack abilities. There's lots of possibilities as you upgrade your player board or ship as you move through the galaxy and quest to save these civilians. Now, just a couple other things of note before we move to those player boards is that you have an encounter deck, you have a loot deck, you have scrap metal, which is some of the currency of this galaxy, and you have damage tokens, of course, and your combat dice, and there's even some event tokens. So those are some of the basics around the table that you need to place and reach for everyone. Now let's take a quick look at this player terminal. This is your player board, and at the top is where your crew will sit. You start with a basic crew, and the other crew member is locked for now until you pay the cost. And you'll notice that the crew have different colors. If you can get 2 crew of the same type, they're going to work better together, give you an additional reroll. Now below that are your upgrade spots, or where you'll place those upgrade tokens. And you'll see that they follow in a progression. You've got green, purple, and then gold, and you have to pay the cost and follow the path as you upgrade. And then at the bottom of the board is where you'll place your ship card. The ship card is going to have your movement, your defense, attack, things like that, as well as the capacity, what it can hold in its cargo. Now, also at the bottom of the board is where you'll find your planetary defense tokens. You can put guns on worlds, yes, and have them be yours and defend that particular world. Hopefully, people can come in and wipe you out though still. And also at the bottom of the board is a really handy reference guide. It's the round tracker, as well as showing you what you can do for actions on your turn. And you have 4 actions you can perform. You'll use the white cubes to mark those off as you do them. And there's even an opportunity to give you a 5th action down the line. Then there's also on the right of the board is where you'll have your honor tokens. You're going to be hopefully holding on to that honor token, but as you do battling, you may lose it. And losing it, you become less interesting as a target. But as you gain more tokens, you're going to be obviously more interesting to go after. Now, the thing here is there's also a graveyard. So in battles, you may lose civilians. So if you get to that last round of the game and you have not saved enough citizens, they're all going to be lost because Calorissa is destroyed after all. So at the top of the board then is where you'll track your credits. You're going to start with 7, and at the very top of the board is domination. And you hope to create like this pattern, this triangle pattern. So as you take over or explore worlds, I should say, and put population or civilians there, and if you have the most civilians there, then you will have domination. And you may hold on to the bonus of that world, but it can be taken from you. But at least you will have 1 point gained domination. And for every triangle pattern that you create with these tokens, you are going to get points or legend at the end of the game. So this galaxy is vast and full of mysteries, and you hope to explore a lot of it and get your civilians saved. But to kick things off, you're going to be moving the round tracker or placing it for the first round. And if this is the first round, you'll grab this red news card. The red news card is basically telling you that war has begun. And on this particular round, or a couple of rounds, because 2 of these cards will be in play at any one time, you will get a bonus legend point for every colony planet that you discover. The card gets placed face up, and again, like I've said before, this is the narrative of the game, and there is an in-between phase. If you happen to have dominance on a planet, or if you have bounty cards from battles that you have had out in this galaxy, you get to collect revenue based on those things. But you'll then, after collecting revenue, flip over the news cards. And if there's one in the position, you'll just slide it down and flip the next one over, and so forth. So, like I said, there'll be 2 of these in play at any one time. The first thing you're doing on your player's turn is moving the moon. It is rotating or orbiting around Calorissa. You'll move it 1 space. If anyone has landed there, it will move with the moon. Now, the reason you'd land or go to the moon is strictly to get scrap metal. And scrap metal, again, is a currency of this galaxy. You're using it to upgrade. You're using it to get better and better ships and things like that. So it is important to go there. It is a free way to get scrap metal, actually. So that's the purpose of the moon. And again, it's orbiting, so you move it 1 hex in clockwise fashion. Now, there is the cube at the top. You never land the moon there. It skips that one. But in general, it's just orbiting around Calorissa. And then you're going to be performing actions. So you can perform up to 4, and you're going to be using cubes to mark these off on your board. Now, later in the game, you might have up to 5 actions. But some of the big things you're doing here is moving. Yes, lots of movement ability in this game. You have a drift, which will move you 1 hex. You also have a full speed action, which takes advantage of the thrusters or engines on your ship. Located in the top left of the card will show you its movement. You can spin 2 cubes to use it twice. So if you have a ship that moves 2, it'll move up to 4 spaces. And then you have a crystal, which gives you a movement bonus, but it's to be used sparingly because you can only use it twice per game. But it is an action that you have to perform. It gives you that nice boost, but use it frugally. Now, the thing is, when you land on a hex, you have to flip it and resolve it. And there's all kinds of different hexes or different galaxy sectors out here that you have to deal with. So there's things like gas clouds, and there are black holes which can throw you off into a direction. And there's even just space stations where you can put contracts onto the space station. And there are asteroid fields that you have to navigate. And there's even like supernovas. All kinds of things can happen out in this galaxy, as well as encounters where you may have to fight your way out. You do have opportunity to flee if you so choose, but as you become more powerful, you may choose up to 2 encounters to deal with. And the rewards are great for taking on these bounties, so to say. Now, the thing is that a lot of these tiles, when they flip and you have to deal with them, you're going to be placing cubes. And until those cubes are taken off the tile and used in whatever manner the tile calls for, or contracts or whatever, the tile is in play. But once that tile has been exhausted, then at the end of your turn, that tile will be replaced. And on the tile is an icon showing you what type of hexes replace it. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's either or. It's up to you to decide. But you'll place it face down into the galaxy. So what's interesting about this is that the galaxy is ever changing as you exhaust tiles and use their abilities throughout the game. Now, movement really is about you trying to get to these colony worlds though. So let's take a look at those. And don't forget, before you head off to these colony worlds, you need to take some citizens with you. This is a free action you can perform, picking up and dropping off citizens. So again, you have to look at your ship card though to see what your capacity is. On the basic ship, you have up to 4 slots that you can put cargo and citizens. But you should take some of them with you. Also, picking up and dropping off cargo is a free action as well, but you have to be on worlds for this to work. Now, if you're on a colony world, you have to have citizens there in order to pick them up. Only on Clarissa is where your main citizens are, where you're trying to shuttle them off and put them on colony worlds in order to save them. And of course, picking up and dropping off cargo has credits associated with it. Picking up cargo from Clarissa will cost you 1 credit, but dropping them off the planets, depending on how many different cargo have been dropped there, it changes the scale of what that cargo is worth. As well as if you try to pick up cargo from that world, it might be more expensive to do so. But as you arrive on a colony world, you're going to be dropping off your citizens, hoping to save them, obviously. And the thing here is that if you're the first one to do this, you're going to have domination right away because you have the most citizens there. And you'll place your token on the world showing that you've marked it off. Now, you'll also grab the bonus token if this world hasn't been explored yet. Or if you have dropped off the most citizens on an explored world, then you'll take the bonus token from someone else, which is really nice. And these bonus tokens are going to do all kinds of different things throughout the game. Again, potentially give you more dice in combat or give you contracts, things like that. Lots of different possibilities for these bonuses. Now, the thing is that you also could just sell cargo, like I said, and based on that scale, you're going to get credits from the cargo you sell. So there's reasons to go to different colonies and travel the galaxy frequently in order to hit a lot of different worlds, because also in that domination scale, that's a way to get legend points at the end of the game if you create these patterns of triangles of showing the different worlds that you visited. So trying to hit as many worlds as possible really is advantageous at the end of the game. Now, you also have planetary defense weapons that you can place out on one of these colony worlds, but you only have 2 of those, and you only have 2 throughout the whole game. So you have to be choosy about where you place them. But you will have to pay their cost, and there's scrap metal usually involved here, so you got to have that on hand as well. Now, picking up scrap metal is another free action in the game. So there's several nice free actions available to you that you don't have to mark off or tick off on your player terminal. Another type of action is interact. So this could be a few different things. You can complete a contract, or you could find out in space an upgrade chest or crate that allows you to grab an upgraded item. Or you're simply at a world or Kellerissa where you can visit the market and upgrade, pay the cost. Again, you have to have credits and scrap metal to do some of these things. So keep that in mind as you're moving into those different areas, that you may want to interact with some of the different locations. Now, the thing is that you also have a repair action that you can perform. The repair action is just allowing you to pull 1 damage off of your ship or off of your player terminal. So let's take a quick look at combat. You're going to be doing a fair amount of this actually throughout the game, especially with encounters. But there are really 3 basic types of combat. You're going to be dealing with planets where there's planetary defenses. You're going to have player versus player, as well as encounters. And probably encounters, you're going to be doing a fair amount of that. So basically, this is just a roll-off. You're using the dice and you're competing against your opponent. So I love dice battles in games. So looking for the hand symbol on your crew and on your ship, you gather that many dice and you're going to roll it. And your opponent will be doing the same thing, be it a player or on the defense of a planet or on an encounter card. And on these encounter cards, they are going to vary. So the player to your right will be doing the rolling for this particular ship. You're trying to defeat them, right, and do as much damage as possible. But they're going to be hitting you as well. And in the case of this, they can hit both your ship and your crew individually based on rolling machine guns and placing them in their slots. And that's what's important with these dice, is that you're looking for symbols to place on the different skills and abilities of your ship and crew. So there are other additional icons here. Other than machine gun, you have missiles for attacking as well, but you also have pilot skill and mechanical skill. The pilot skill is going to help you avoid damage, and the mechanical skill is going to help you remove damage. So there's lots of different things to use and balance as you gather different types of crew and as you upgrade your ships and as you enter into these battles. So they can move really fast, these different confrontations that you run into, but one of the interesting things about player versus player is that you can negotiate up front. You can say, hey, I've got some loot, I can trade you, don't destroy me, things like that. Or it can be as simple as, hey, if you order the pizza tonight, I won't destroy you. So there's a lot of negotiation that can happen in these battles. And so you'll continue this way round after round, performing actions, exploring the galaxy, but really you're trying to save as many citizens as possible. And along the way you're gathering resources, you're trying to upgrade your ship and your crew, do various things like that. Now, at the end of the game, after that 8th round or 8th year, you're going to total up your legend points. And again, the way you're getting those points is various. So you're either dominating on a world, you have the most citizens there, you've completed triangle patterns on your domination track, or you've gathered bounties from encounters, or you've done ship upgrades, will give you points as well. And if you've entered into battle with your fellow players, you may have gathered their honor tokens, or maybe you have a whole stack of honor tokens. It will give you points. And if you've lost citizens, they've moved off to the graveyard because, Kellerissa was destroyed, or you lost them in battle, then for every 3 of those, you will lose 1 point of legend, sadly. But you will also gain points based on credit bonuses. So there's lots of different things here that will give you legend at the end of the game, and whoever has the most will be the ultimate captain in the galaxy. Alright folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now with that said, we barely scratched the surface here of what's possible in this game. There are so many different things that can happen, and how you enter into these different tiles and different sectors of space and all the different possibilities that can happen there. And the fact that this galaxy is ever changing is something I really liked about this game, and of course the dice battles. But again, there's a lot of resource gathering and pick up and deliver mechanism in this game to move citizens off and save them. But ultimately folks, if this looks like something that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it from me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.